Just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another week of the Keeping It Real segment here on the Blodgett Show. Joining me today, I have my bro Rico and my bro Barry, and I hope you guys enjoy. This is episode 186.
This call is now being recorded.
Hey!
Yeah, we're live.
Well, so everybody want to welcome Rico and Barry back to the Keeping It Real segment again?
What's going on, world? You know me, I'm just keeping it real.
Yep.
Howdy, y'all.
I'm out here working. Doing what I
It's
do.
snowing out there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's snowing up here. I looked out the window. I'm making me some hot chocolate right
man.
now. I looked out the window, and it is snowing pretty good.
Oh, well, up here
Well,
it's cold
it's
shit.
not snowing here yet, thankfully. I don't like the snow anymore, man. Once you get older, you don't like the snow anymore.
Yes.
I used to love it when I was young and didn't have shit to do. now it just stops everything.
Up here, I think we were just getting flurries throughout the night, but now it's like, even though it's 38 degrees, it finally, it was dark for a while. Like, we had, the clouds and the not very bright day out. Now, of course, it's still 38, but the clouds have cleared, and it's all bright as hell out here now.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I used
Hell,
to.
yesterday down here, man, it felt like the summer was coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Man, me being originally from Alabama, hell, we never really seen much snow, and I used to love snow up until last year. I fell a couple of times, got hurt and everything else, and yeah, that kind of made me not like the snow much anymore.
Yeah, I don't mind it if I'm not
falling
working.
in the snow when you're older ain't the same as when you're young.
Yeah.
When you're young, you fall in the snow, you laugh a little bit, you get mad and wipe yourself off. You fall when you're old, you lay there for a little bit saying damn, and then
Yep.
I said we actually have hills close by where I live now, whatever. There's a ton of hills, in my neighborhood or whatever. And I was like, oh man, this would be great when we get actual snow. Maybe I could sled, but on some of those hills between the houses, in the backyards or whatever, you get to the end of that the hills kind of go up and down. It's like a couple of hills, but overall they continue to work their way down. But at the end of the last hill, there's nothing stopping you at all. So it's I'm kind of worried about trying to sled down that hill. Because basically you end up out in the street, hit the next curb, end up on the next hill.
oh man, you got it, bro. Just imagine that you're in your truck and steer it, man. You got it.
Like,
Yep.
2 weeks from now, you guys hear, yeah, I've been taking the last couple weeks off because
Got hit by a car.
Yeah. I hit the curb a little too hard, and I launched 20 feet up in the air, and end over end on the grass, and ended up in a snow pile. That's like.
Yep. So we got a little hill in.
If somebody caught it on film.
That would be awesome too.
If they caught you going in the air on film, that would be a good shot.
Photos of my feet sticking up out of the snow pile.
We got a little hill at my in-laws' house, and we have somebody playing street duty down there. That way, you can either say wait till the people sledding, or kind of just stop the people for a second when somebody's sledding. But we can't stop them from, like you said, launching off that little spot down the street and then just sliding into the woods on the other side. So it's all fun, though. Yep. Because the streets ain't always paved.
Snow to do. We haven't gotten enough snow to do sledding, man, since the 80s, man. Now we mostly just get a little snow, a whole lot of ice, and freezing rain and shit like that, man. So it just kind of sets the streets down now.
Man. I'll have to take photos. This is my first. I mean, I grew up here in the Midwest, but ever since leaving, with my ex-wife or whatever, like I was in Texas, and I mean, technically we were in Iowa, with my my wife and my kids or whatever. We were in Iowa for a little bit, but then we're out in Philly on the East Coast, and then so it's like it's been a while.
Does Texas get any snow at all?
I mean, up here like Iowa and Kansas and stuff, yeah, we tend to get It's been a while. I don't remember how much snow we used to get, but I know when I lived in Nebraska, we had like a blizzard that they called the blizzard. I think it was like 97. And I remember because I was on the basketball team, and we were actually on our way to the basketball game, and it was starting to snow at that point. It wasn't too bad. But then, like, I think it got really bad about halfway through the game, and I think we were getting we were bad. And we were getting our asses handed to us in that game. I think we were down probably like 38 or 39 to like 5 in the basketball game or something, and still had half the game to go, and the weather got so bad that they were like, should we call it? We should just call it so everybody can try to get out of here. And so they called the game, and we got like maybe a quarter of the way back to the town I was, that I graduated in, and basically we couldn't see the front of the cars. So they basically, like, the leader of the little convoy kind of had everybody pull over to the side, and then a lot of us, we got into the bigger vehicles, like the vans or whatever, and a lot of us, like, the parents were supposed to, like, leave their car on the side of the road with their flashers on. They're like, your car will go dead, but we're all gonna group up in these other cars. We're gonna go back to the school that we just were at, and whenever this clears by the morning, then we'll come back here and we'll get everybody jumped and out of here and stuff. But we went back to the school and basically stayed the night at the high school, or it was like a middle school, but stayed there, and they still had staff that were at the school that couldn't get out because of the weather. So we had like hot food, and they had like mats or whatever that for people to like randomly like sleep in random corners or whatever. But we basically just hung out for the night and then made it home the next day. But we had like 10-foot snow drifts or whatever because of how much snow we got during that blizzard. So like, I lived out in the country, so being my siblings or whatever, took how it is, we made the igloos, we took the bucket or whatever and dug tunnels through the big ass piles or whatever and made like a little snow fort, or filled the buckets up and made the wall like that. We have the wall in the shape of the little bucket bricks or whatever. So it's been a while, but now I'm up here, and of course, like, when I went into Pilot last night, or this morning, I guess, on my way down to Springfield, because I'm still in shorts, even though I've got, boots on, and I've got a like one of those like heavy duty reflective hoodies on. But I was walking into Pilot, and of course, this lady walking out, I guess one of the Pilot staff members, she walked out, she goes, "Your pants shrunk a little bit too much." I said, "Actually, you know what? I stepped in the puddle back there," and they just. But with how cold it was tonight, I'm debating on getting long pants again, you know, and maybe bundling up a little bit more because the wind. It's not so bad. Like I'm good with the temps, but up here you get a lot more wind and rain, so it's like the wind is what really makes it cold. But without the wind, it wouldn't be that bad.
Wind be cutting. That wind be cutting.
Yeah, man. You know what? It's actually it feels a lot colder in like the southern regions, or the more, I guess, wet. You know how they always talk about dry heat and stuff like that, like wet cold.
Yep.
I remember before I come up to Michigan, out in Alabama, when I was flying up here to meet with my wife. We wasn't married then or whatever. I was flying up to meet her family and stuff. Well, anyways, it was like, you know, it wasn't snowing or anything. It was maybe 30, maybe high 20s. I was walking from my vehicle to the airport, and I'm like, oh, geez, this is super cold. This is like nuts. I'm like, you know, if it's, you know, and it was 0 degrees up there. So when I landed and got off the plane, it was 0 degrees. I'm thinking, like, I'm definitely not going to be able to deal with the temp. And as soon as I walked outside, I'm like, man, this 0 degrees ain't nothing. And so, like, if you do, like, temperature for temperature, it's a lot, I guess it feels more fierce, in, like, the regions with the, I guess, where it's wet and humid or whatever. Because, man, that 30 degrees or 28 degrees was even colder than 0 degrees up here in Michigan. And so.
Yep. Oh, Michigan, yeah, that's the joke up there. They get down to like negative.
Yeah, but it still ain't too bad. I mean, it's like you said with the wind, you know, most of the times, I mean, we do live by like a little lake, so we'll get, you know, winds off of it if we go down there by the bus stop.
The lake effect or whatever it is.
Yeah. And so, but most times though, man, you know, it's not really too bad. It's just the snow. It's the amount of snow we get, not the temperature or the way it feels.
Yeah, before getting divorced with my ex, the last place I lived with her was up in Cut Bank, Montana, literally like right on the freaking Canadian border. And I would never go back because like I don't mind cold or heat, but I don't like extremes. Like, I would love to be in a temp where it's like 50, 55, 60, between 55 and 65 all year round. That'd be awesome. You know, where it's cool enough that you're not gonna overheat, but it's not cold enough to get be cold. You know, you can wear a hoodie and shorts, you're still comfortable, or hell, I'd be out in that in a t-shirt, still be fine. People look at me like, how are you in a t-shirt, or how are you not wearing like a hoodie or like a coat or like shoes? What the hell? It's like 55. I'm like, it's not cold. This is nothing. You know, but it got to like negative 45 up there in Cut Bank, and so like, that's horrible.
Yeah, and that's nuts. Yeah, that's like Alaskan weather right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a small guy, man, so I can't do a lot of cold.
Because like if it's above 30 to 40 without the wind, I'm good. Hell, I'll be off on my days off, and it'll be like 38 or something. No wind, and I'll still put on a hoodie or whatever, but I'll be in my shorts and flip flops when I go out of the house to run an errand because I'm not going to be out in it for a long time. That's why, like out here in the truck, I'm not in it for a long time. I get out, do what I got to do, get back in the truck, and if it's super cold, I just make sure to crank up the heat inside the truck. I got leather seats in here. They got the freaking, you know, it's got the bells and whistles, got the heated seat, so I can flip the little switch to warm the seat up if I have to, until it gets too warm, and then I have to shut that fucker off. Because it's like, all right, get a little toasted here going on. But when it gets down to like teens or whatever, like 20 down to 0 or less, like that, at that point, that'd be like the one time of the year down there in Tennessee before moving up here that at that point I was usually throwing on like sweatpants or something, going out and making sure I'm wearing regular shoes because it was so cold. But then it would get back to like 35, 40, whatever, and I'm back in my normal stuff and wearing flip-flops when I'm off. But I'm like, with the fam, I'm like, well, doing for it, it's because of the fact that they're like, Dad, yep, that's Dad. Like, yeah, damn right. Unless I'm cold, otherwise I'm,
Yeah.
But
That's
cool,
normally
you
me.
go out when you have to.
Short sleeve shorts.
Yep.
But I'm like you. I don't like the
pretty
extremes.
good out here today, man.
Like I was born and raised in Alabama. I spent the majority of my life there for the most part. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want to go back just because I wouldn't want to deal with the heat, man. It's yeah, it's too much, man. A lot of times when it gets to that extremes, man, you get in your car. Like say, your car's been outside in the sun all day, and then you go outside, go home, or wherever you're going, and then hell, it's like the air conditioner don't even work because the vehicle's too hot. Even if you let down the windows and stuff, it's hard to get that AC going enough to feel like it's really doing anything.
That's why going down to Florida was, even during this time of year, going to Florida, like southern Florida, whatever, it's like you feel like using the AC during the daytime because it would be hot. And I would park at a truck stop or a rest area for the night. Like it would be like 80 degrees during the day, but then like I'd park and I'd have my AC blowing, I'd have my APU, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd wake up 3 or 4 in the morning and have to freaking flip it off of AC and turn it on to like heat really quick because I'd wake up with my teeth chattering because it's like I'm seeing my breath in the middle of the night. It's like, oh crap! It's like 45.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, I didn't like the heat in Florida too much, man. It was too hot. It was too hot for me in Florida.
Oh yeah.
That's why I ended up at the hospital there.
Yeah, because of heat exhaustion or whatever.
Yeah, man. I guess I had a heat stroke. I guess. Because I ended up in the hospital, but I was dehydrated and stuff, man. I think I told you about that one. That was from before I went to Florida. I was drinking all that coffee every day, man. And so I was already dehydrated when I went down there. And so when I got in that heat and started working, and then, I was working with a blowtorch and shit too. So that made, my little area even hotter than it was outside anyway. And, like, man, every muscle in my body just froze up, man. It was like the pain I felt was like nothing I had ever experienced before, man. So I just basically fell like a tree. I just fell straight over and, started hollering and screaming and ended up at the hospital. They gave me like 6, maybe 7 bags of fluid. They had to hit me with, the morphine twice. But that didn't do anything for me. I didn't start feeling any type of relief until they got me on the drip, and that was a few hours later. But yeah, man, my kidney shrunk a size and everything. I don't play around with that heat in Florida.
Especially because you're on the roof. I know it was worse up there.
Well, I was then. I don't do that anymore. I let that go.
Well, it was so much
I got
fun,
a team
man.
for that now. Nah, but
yeah, I don't like roofs.
You know what? Actually, man, it was fun when I first started it. When I started doing it back in, I want to say 99, maybe 2000. From then up until around 2008, 2009, it was fun. I enjoyed what I did because I was working with my hands and I was able to see something, be tore down and built back up to something that looked really nice and the homeowners would be happy. And so, I really enjoyed it. But then it got to the point I didn't have any help. So, by that time, then I had started working with this guy, and it was me, him, a couple other people, but then we lost them. Then we had a couple more people, and I had to fire one of them, and the other one just left. And, he was going to be fired anyway, so it was good he left. But, it got to the point it was basically just me and my boss doing the roof, and he's 72. So, you know, it wasn't much that he could do on the heavy lifting side. You know what I mean? So that meant the majority of the heavy lifting part of the job fell on me, which I can still do it, but it's just a bit much to take care of all that and then install the roof too. Then have to come down, clean up the ground, and you know what I mean? So we let that go, man. We got a team for that now, man. Couple good guys, man. They're some Mexican fellas. Man, I can't even think of his name right now, man, but he's a really good guy. But he does all the roofing work that we get. Is that it? No, that ain't it. That ain't it. I was gonna say, yeah, that's it, but that's not it. I can't think of it right now, man. But anyway, he's a good guy though. But now, man, it's just for me, it's home remodels. Like you might have somebody that has like a 2-bedroom apartment that they're gonna rent out, and they want to add an extra bedroom in there and knock down some walls to expand certain areas, or they might want a patio or a deck put outside. So, you know, home improvement and remodels is what I focus on now.
I got
you.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing that a lot more because I'm inside or I'm on the ground. And when you're on the ground, even when it's hot, it's not as bad as being on the roof, you know, because on the roof, it's going to be 17 to 26 degrees hotter, and sometimes hotter than that, depending on what type of material you're actually putting down for the roof.
Oh, yeah. Well, the roof's, well, anything like that, you know, even if you put up, like a tin or aluminum roof, tin roof, whatever, it's always going to be that sun hits it. It's going to be like sand. Even if you're sitting in sand, the type of material, whether, you know, it's sand or the roof, the shingles or the tin, man, it's always going to make stuff hotter than, you know. And not only that, you ain't got no shade or cover. You know, you're directly in the sun and you got the reflection beaming up at you. I couldn't do roof though, man. I'd have to be the ground crew. Man, I'm terrified of heights. So yeah, man, I tried to get up on top of a roof one time. And bro, I got up there and I don't know what it was. My legs just froze up and wouldn't move. I'm like, ugh. And, yeah, so I'd be the person cleaning it up and then carrying the shingles up on a ladder. But, hell no, I ain't getting on no roof.
We don't do that no more. We got a machine for you to send the shingles up now. You don't have to tote them on your shoulder no more. We got a machine.
Oh, for real? Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man. It's basically a ladder, and it has like this damn, man, what do you call the piece, man? But it's a piece that you set the bundles on, and usually they'll hold about 2 or 3 bundles at a time, and you can send them on up. It's
nice.
got a little gas-powered motor on it. Yeah, so, you know, that part of it, they have come a long way with that. Because I used to tow them sometimes back in the day, even though they had that machine, because the people I was working for, either theirs would be malfunctioning or we just wouldn't have it. Because the first crew I started with, man, we had like 20-something people. So we would do 5 or 6 houses every week because we'd split up and knock them all out, man. So, you know, but yeah, a lot has changed since back then, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Back then, we really that old, man?
The tin roof, though, that tin roof will burn you. The tin and the tar roof, they'll burn you.
We built aluminum boat shed. I think it was aluminum boat shed. It is a tin, or I forget the metal we used. I was younger when we did it. And, man, I tell you what, I hated doing that. But we had to get on ladders and sit there and bring them pieces up. I didn't have to get on top of it, thank God. We just had a ladder put in there, and then you screw it into the wood. It's something about being on a roof, man. I can't do it, dude. It's funny the way that people fear certain stuff, but then not fear other stuff. And it's like, you know, man, it's weird how that works.
Yeah, because I'm more afraid of a dog than I am falling off the roof.
Yeah, and see, I'm not afraid of any animals. Now, I don't like snakes. I'm not necessarily afraid of them, but man, I don't like them. back in Alabama, man, there's rattlesnakes and stuff. Up here in Michigan, there's only one venomous type of snake. But man, like down there in Alabama, you go in the swamps, you got water moccasins, you got a whole bunch of deadly stuff down there.
Man, same
so,
way here in Charlotte.
Like
bro.
we'd be
Water
fishing out on boats.
The friggin'
yeah.
What's that other snake, man? Not the rattlesnake, but the what's that other southern snake, man?
Man, it depends on man. There's a good bit of them.
Let me see. I'm trying to think.
I can't remember if copperhead's a rattlesnake or not.
Copperhead, that's it. The copperhead.
Yeah.
Them copperheads, man. Them some nasty little fuckers, man.
Oh yeah.
Really aggressive.
Yeah, it's weird because we'd be out there fishing in a little bitty boat, and we just have gators sitting out there chilling in the water right by us, and we just fishing along, not even worried about it. You put me on a roof, oh Jesus, help me, baby Jesus.
Oh man, I swam with gators, man.
Yeah, we did too. That's what's weird, man. Because like I'm up here, we have a little private lake that we are paying to where we can go to. It's gated in and everything. And I'm like, man, that it feels weird because nothing here can kill you in here unless you drown. And but man, we used to swim in Foul River and is it Rabbit Creek and stuff. And man, all of them have gators in it. You know what I mean? And it's like we didn't. Okay, we're swimming and like now that I'm older and I got kids, I'm like, I don't know if I'd let my daughter swim where I used to swim growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't really want to be
That's just how it is when you're younger, man. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
Yep, you don't think about it when you're younger, man. But, I mean, as far as the gators go, though, man, as long as it's not mating season or them fuckers ain't starving or something, then, you're usually okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, though, is and it goes with everything. You never really know until it happens. Like the thing about the predators, whether it's sharks or gators, because we used to swim out in the ocean. Like we set off at I think it's Billy Goat Hole and down there at Dolphin Island, and then man, hell, we'd travel hella far out there. And then, sometimes we'd stop, swim, but we'd swim out there by Sand Island too. But you never know when they're going to strike. They say that, and it's true though, if you ever get in an area to where there's a predator like a gator or something, be as calm as possible. Don't make any movements or sounds because you sound like a wounded animal. And then the sharks, people say that sharks and gators and all that really don't want to eat you. That's not true. They want to eat whatever they can eat, to feed off of. And the sharks being curious, they're going to take a bite out of you just to see what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they say that we taste bad to sharks. But I'm like, how the fuck do you know that?
That
like,
man,
what
there's
shark
just people
told
saying
you
that.
Like the way a person tasted.
No. Yeah, no, that.
Like, what told you that, though? Like,
well,
how
it's
do
like
you determine that the shark doesn't like the way people taste?
This is what people are going to say. It's because they're used to eating tuna and stuff like that, and because of that, they prefer it, in which they might because, they're used to hunting and everything else. But if you take and you look at the history of people getting attacked by sharks, some people do survive, but a lot of people don't survive. Sharks take them under, drown them, just like gators do, and then, they eat them. Man, that's kind of like saying...
What's to say?
Because I ain't never met a vegetarian shark or gator before.
Yep.
I think they do have a certain a few breeds of sharks that only eat like plankton and shit like that.
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, I don't know, like
really sharks,
I would.
though?
That's
like,
what I was going to say. Like a whale shark, is he really a shark?
In the shark family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like, because they have a lot of species that are in the shark family, but to me they're really not sharks.
Yeah, I think, well, is it possibly that when people seen it, they're like, hey, you know what? That's just a big old shark right there. Let's make it a whale shark. Well, it don't eat. It, its teeth is weird. It's like, well, you know what? I found it. I get to name it, so we're going to call it a whale shark. And so.
Yeah, that could be it. Because there are small fish that they say are in the shark family, but you get them straight from the normal pet store. But they're supposed to be in the shark family.
One thing I found out by learning from somebody else's life, I always try to learn from my mistakes and other people's mistakes. And one thing I learned not to do by another person's mistake was we was out on Dolphin Island because once Katrina hit, it basically it connected Sand Island. So I think it was Hurricane Frederick come through and separated the land on Dolphin Island, basically wanted to extend it out, and then they called it Sand Island. It basically split apart from Dolphin Island and become its own little island right by it. And it's called Sand Island. That's where people would go to swim and everything. And Katrina come back and remade it connected, right? And so we went out there and we walked through the beach and went into the water. Well, what we did was we was going fishing. But we was fishing about chest deep. Me and my buddy was, and there were some other people fishing too. Well, we all decided to put shrimp in our pocket, right? And me and the other guy we quit fishing after a little bit, but there was a guy that was not too far from us, got attacked by a shark, and that shark attacked his leg in the pocket that he was holding that shrimp in. And I was like, thank God that wasn't me. And so I'm never, if I go doing some more fishing like that, I'm definitely not going to be having shrimp in my pocket.
I mean, that's kind of like that Doug type moment, though, man. It's like it's bad old boy got attacked, but you out there fishing in chest deep water, and you got the bait in your pocket?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very smart move.
Yeah.
That kind of make you the bait, don't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. Yep. He got attacked by, I think it was a black-tipped shark, whatever it is. I'm trying to remember. So I think it was blackfin. Either blackfin or black. I can't remember what they call it.
Hey, Chris, man, I got some extra bait, man. You'll put these chicken livers in your pocket and hold on to them for me?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, just walk it off, man. Just walk it off.
And
Chris, man, he just took a little bite, man.
Yeah. But, young and dumb, I was in my...
Hey, yeah, we did a lot of young
24,
stuff,
25. To me, that's still young. Hell, I'll be 40 next year, so, I mean,
man,
20 is definitely young.
You really don't stop doing dumb stuff until you're 40.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said in that song.
Because at 40...
Well, it's like that song that I just wrote too. Ignorant Old.
The clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah. At 40, you start to realize the clock is ticking. You know what I mean? Anytime before 40, you still got that I'm gonna live forever thing in my mind.
Yeah. Well, it's like with that song, man. The one we just I wrote to it. We're trying to get the new done. I said, young and dumb and just an ignorant old. And so, hopefully, I learn. I don't know.
Yeah, man, hell, a few lessons I learned, and I still did the same shit again later on just because at the present time, well, at that time, it was going to be fun. And so I said, well, you know what? I already know what's going to happen, but I'll deal with the consequences later because right now I'm enjoying this shit. And I think sometimes that's just all it is, man. You know better, but you decide the consequences aren't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you got to weigh it.
Especially when we was real little. I know me anyway. There was a few times when I knew I was going to get my ass whooped, I knew I wasn't going to make it back home at the time I was supposed to. I knew I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And I basically said, you know what? I'm going to take that ass whooping this time because I'm not going.
Yeah.
Like, or you lie about it and try to, you know that you're going to get caught, or that they're going to realize that you're lying about it?
I didn't lie about it, because if you lied
no, they was too smart,
and they found out you was lying, man, that whooping there was even worse.
Well, the things that I would do that I would get beat for
telling a lie
was
fear.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, is the stuff that I did back in the day that I'd get whooped for, man, I couldn't think of a smart enough lie to lie about that they believed.
I was telling my youngest
I'm just saying.
I was telling my youngest yesterday afternoon when I got home, we were kind of talking about, like, a similar story, getting in trouble or whatever, and I said, like, back when I met my wife, she was a civilian working on base, and I was in tech school, going through fire school for the fire department, for the Air Force fire school, pretty much. And at one point, I came off base to kind of like, I guess she'd slipped on ice and fell on the stairs or whatever. So, like, I came off base to kind of help her out. And she was like trying to like get herself off the couch or out of bed or whatever. I'm like, we need to get you back to base. And I'm like, no, you're like really badly hurt. Like, I'm just gonna stay here. She's, you're gonna get in trouble. Like, it's fine. Like, you need me, obviously. And so the next morning, I was trying to be all slick and sneak back into the dorms, and when nobody's supposed to technically be out of their dorm because we weren't going to school at that hour quite yet, and the commanding officer was like a staff sergeant or something. Everyone, Blodgett, get over here! Oh shit! What are you doing out here? I panicked. So I was like, I was just at the school. I was on my way back. Really? Come with me. Takes me to an office, takes out the phone. I'm like, oh shit. Gets on the phone and he said, who'd you talk to up there? I said, I don't know, it was like captain or something. Calls the school, hey, it's Captain so-and-so there. No, he hasn't been in all morning. Oh, thank you. Hangs up. Looks at me, I'm like, how much trouble am I in? It's like, you tell one lie, you got to tell other lies to try to cover up that lie. But when they get the phone out and try to call and verify your story, I knew very quick I was kind of fucked.
Well, see, I would have said that I must have talked to somebody that was playing a joke on me and pretending to be a captain, because I sure spoke to somebody and they said they was a captain. Damn it.
See, I didn't think about that either. I was panicking, man. I was like, oh, fuck. So
you got some people who can improvise.
Yeah.
It's like some people would just be able to pull it off, and it'd be like good actors can do that, man. Be able to improvise and go through and improvise, yeah. And so some people good at it, some people aren't, because they get caught. They be like, well, see what had happened was, because it's a natural response to be like your brain to kind of freeze up when you get put in that moment of you got an oh crap moment. You know what I mean?
Because then you're trying to like make up a story to kind of make that lie actually sound good, and they're like, oh well, crap. It's like there's a reel I saw on Instagram where it said like when you have that one friend that can talk his way out of anything, and it's like a dude with a hat, like a wide brim hat or whatever, and of course you have another guy over in the passenger seat. The cop's like, hey, so you were swerving all over back there, like what's going on? Oh yeah, officer. Strange thing, like we had a bee in the car. He's like, a bee? He's like, yeah. He points at there's a dead bee on the dash. He's like, yeah, but see, look, we got the little fucker. Oh wow, bee at night. You don't see that very often. Nope, you don't. And the cop sniffs a little bit. And goes, is that beer smelling your breath, sir? And he goes, no.
Non-alcoholic beer.
Like, yeah, non-alcoholic beer. And you take right from the officer. He goes, like 10 years this month. He goes, oh, congratulations. And he goes, yeah, can I get your driver's license? He's like, yeah, gives it to him, and he looks at the photo. You're a priest. Yes, sir. He's like, what parish? He gives him a name of a parish. Okay, I'll be right back. Comes back. Yeah, call the parish. Funny thing, they have never heard of you. He goes, I don't know why they would. They
don't start till next week or something.
Yeah, they'll start for like 2 weeks or something. as far as so if I ran an alcohol test on you, it would come back negative or whatever. And he goes, well, hold on. He takes out like cough syrup out of the box. Like, does this have alcohol?
Does this have it in there?
Yeah. And the passenger keeps going back and forth between, oh shit, I can't believe you just did that.
Yep.
It's like, I know I'm not that good.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh no, and that the same thing. Some people have it like freestylers. The thing about freestyling is your brain has to be able to function with moments of the stress, just like whether it's improv or anything else, because you got to go from the next moment of what you're going to say and what you're going to talk about and how you're going to keep it going. And so to be able to do that, it's kind of like with freestyling. You have to be able to go from one part to another in a smooth transition. And so that, there's a lot of stuff that, that's why some people who do music can't freestyle, because, when you're sitting there writing, you have time to think, you get to contemplate, you get to build up you can brainstorm or however you want to do it. But when you're freestyling, or some people call it off the dome, I always known it as freestyling, but when you're doing that, you don't get a chance to think. You have to say, you got between X amount of seconds to keep it moving, or, kind of flop, or it stops. And so it just, way people's brain work.
One scene on Tommy Boy where him and the other guy, they get pulled over and they're both been drinking. And they get out of the car, start running around, screaming, "Beef!"
Yep. Well, I'm allergic. Oh, I love Tommy Boy.
Yeah, me too. Oh, yeah. We'll send help.
I'm allergic to bees.
Holy, that worked.
Yep. So when I was a kid, I got my hair cut just like Chris Farley. And man, I look like the spitting image of him. Like if you would have, I wish I could find some of the pictures. But I literally look like the spitting image of him. Like if I'd have went and I could have been like, yeah, Chris Farley's my dad, and everybody would have believed that, man. But I loved Chris Farley. I loved all his movies. Black Sheep, Tommy Boy. Oh yeah, Beverly Hills Ninja. I don't think I've seen the movie he was working on right before he died, the one he did before he died. And I'd love to see it. I can't even remember the name of it, but I think, and when he died or whatever.
What it was called, because I don't even know about it.
I'm trying to think of it. I'll have to look it up, but I can't remember the name now. But I definitely wanted to see it, but I don't know why I didn't get to see it.
It's like up there with like Heath Ledger. Like Ledger was an awesome actor too, or whatever. And it's like then you hear that he passed or whatever. It's like what? Fuck.
Yeah.
That's another problem with us slowly getting old, man. Is like you got these.
It was called Almost Heroes.
Almost Heroes.
Yep.
Yeah, Almost Heroes. That was the last one he made right before he passed.
I'm not familiar with that one.
They released it. They released it after his death in '98.
And so yeah, I didn't get to see it. I can't remember why I didn't get to see it. But because I had seen all the other ones, I owned them actually. Man, I'll tell you one movie that I loved, and I could quote verbatim. And my brother ended up breaking it, and I didn't find out he was the one that broke it and made it disappear until later on in life. He told me, but with Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber. I could quote the scene verbatim. Sir, I would never offend a man of your size. I know that ain't all of it right now, but remember when he says, "Oh man, you spilled the salt. Now you have to take and throw some over your shoulder." And so he throws the whole thing over his shoulder and hits Seabass. And then he comes, and man, I used to watch that movie. It was on VHS. And, I had to explain to my daughter what a VHS was the other day. As a matter of fact, it was yesterday. And so, cause I was trying to find a editing program for her music video. And, the wife was like, "Why not iMovie?" And I'm like, "Man, the movie, you use iMovie, whenever it converts it out, it makes it look worse than a VHS movie." I'm like, "It looks horrible." And I had to explain to him, "Well, VHS, what's a VHS?" Because, you know, everything's streaming now. Hell, I
Yeah,
don't even know if
movie
she knows what a
director was pretty
DVD
good.
is. Do what now?
Movie director, or what's the name of it? Power director. Power director is really good with editing video. They have a free side, but most of the really good stuff that you want, you know, you got to have a subscription for it. But that one is really good.
We was able to finally get CapCut to work.
Yeah, I was reading on Farley, and it turns out that he was the original voice of Shrek. And before he died, he had recorded 80% of the lines. But when he passed away, they went on ahead and recast with Mike Myers. But he was the original voice. Yeah, if he hadn't passed away, that's who we would have got for Shrek.
Man, I'm trying to think of what it would be like with him as the Shrek. Because, you know, Mike Myers did a great job.
Man, they could have used, they could have used his voice, man, in the first couple movies or something, man, or the first movie at least, man. It's like he had 80% of the lines done.
Yeah, but then when they did other.
But then also too, they might have had a legal battle they have to go through
man.
as well.
They changed the voice actors a lot.
Oh yeah. Well then, you know,
like with the animated Batman. Like with the animated Batman, there's been a whole lot of different actors that did Batman's animated voice.
Well, for Batman, don't you just have to talk really deep and creepy, like you're stalking somebody looking through their window?
Granted, Batman's voice is one of the easiest to do.
Yeah, just be low and creepy, you know what I'm saying? No, I wasn't looking through a window, officer. That wasn't me. No, there's pictures of a different woman. I wasn't looking at her butt. Yeah.
What are you doing at that window?
I'm Batman. Peeping in my window.
I wasn't doing anything, officer.
Wow. Yep.
I was just trying to look inconspicuous.
See what happened was.
Hey, they got a new version of Batman. It's a new storyline that they're doing called Ultimate, and basically Darkseid has recreated a whole universe, man, and so all the heroes and stuff over there, they got their powers in different ways. But the Batman, the main difference between the Ultimate Batman is he's a broke Batman. He doesn't have the Wayne billions. You know what I mean? He's just a regular Batman, but he's buff and built. And it's a lot different. It's a lot different. Those are the movies that they need to be doing, in my opinion, man. The stuff that they're doing in the comics right now.
Well, could Batman work? Excuse me. Could Batman work as a broke man? I mean, isn't him having all his gadgets what makes him Batman?
Oh, yeah. Just like in the Ultimate Universe, it's basically the same Batman, but he just didn't come from money. You know what I mean? I don't know where all his gadgets and stuff comes from. I think he still makes a lot of his stuff, and then has somebody else, I think, that makes them too. But he's just not a billionaire in that universe. But he's still Batman.
I got you.
His suit looks a little different though. He doesn't have like the bat insignia on his chest. He's got like this leather piece. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. But yeah, it would definitely work, man. It would definitely work.
So basically, Batman would be the artist, and he got a producer
Batman
somewhere out there.
Dad. Say what now?
So basically, Batman would be the artist, and he's got a producer out there somewhere making the beats.
Yeah, basically. But hell, even in the original Batman timeline, man, he doesn't actually make his gadgets and shit. He tinkers with them, and I think he has made a few things. But the majority of stuff that we see, Fox, that the black dude Fox made them. Like the Wayne Industries, that's who really makes most of his tech.
Hmm. Yeah, see, I don't know much about Marvel and stuff like that because growing up, I didn't really get to watch too much of that stuff. Well, any of them. I don't even know the difference between
DC.
which is which. Hell, growing up, I couldn't read comics because I got one Spider-Man comic one time, and man, it ended up having pictures of a woman with some big boobs, and my mama seen it, and she was like, "Oh no!" And so I didn't get comics anymore. and of course, watching TV.
Comics were pretty sexual. They were pretty sexual.
Yeah.
Like Marvel even had a swimsuit issue.
Really?
Yeah, Marvel had an actual swimsuit issue it was basically just like the real swimsuit issue that used to come out back in the day. It was basically just like that, but it was with the women that was in the comics.
Yeah, I probably would have loved that as a kid.
Oh yeah, you would have. We all did. Everybody that was aware of it.
Yeah. Hell, I remember back in the day on cable. Yeah, I remember back in the day on the cable. It was like 10 o'clock at night or something. The Playboy channel would come on, and if you could catch it, like when it was coming on, like a lot of times the blurry, like it wouldn't be like all fuzzy blurry. Whatever, they were trying to cover it up.
Those were the early days of cable.
Yeah, early. And so if you could catch it when it's first coming on, so a lot of times it wouldn't be blurred out and stuff. But even then, you know how many times I watched that thing blurred out hoping something would come through? Oh, man.
Did I see a nipple?
Yeah, bro. Man, when you young, you like, what can I see? Make sure to turn the volume down low. Yeah, man.
Yeah, those were the days back then, man. Those were the days.
Back in the days of, why are these pages stuck together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back when the first titties most of us saw was in National Geographic.
Yeah, and that is true, man. I love
titties.
National Geographic, man. Are you kidding me? We had the magazines
National Geographic,
too.
Man.
Bro, let me tell you. Let me tell you what, man. African women might have actually been
Jet magazine.
The first boobies I ever saw, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And then you had Jet magazine that had the half naked women in it most of the time. Man, it was like back then nudity was acceptable.
Yeah,
nobody cared about who showed what.
But it wasn't like accessible though compared to like nowadays though.
You know what was
nowadays? Man, most of the stuff that we did when I was coming up, it would be outlawed now. You'd be shunned. They'd shun you for doing most of the shit we did back in the day, man. Just like now how you have, let me see. I know there's a more politically correct term for it, but I'm just going to say gay people because I don't know what the politically correct term would be.
Gay.
But
gay is the political correct term.
Gay people didn't care if you called them a sissy, a punk, or what. They didn't care about that shit. They let you know this is who I am. If you don't like it, that's on you. Nowadays, man, everybody is so tiptoeing around this and tiptoeing around that. And it's like, yo, what the hell happened to people?
Well, I think what happened back then is, especially me and you being younger, is being gay was frowned upon. Like, hell, they thought it was a disease. And like, they used to do, shock therapy to basically try to get people to be ungay. And so it's kind of like, the majority of people who were gay were closeted. They, had to hang out there because, they had the hate coming from it as well. Like they'd get beat up. They had a lot of issues. And so, whatever went through, they had to go through because a lot of times, say you had one gay person in a bar, you had 5 assholes that found out about it and they drunk and wanted to be,
Oh man.
be bad about it. They end up getting jumped and everything else.
Yeah, see, back in the day for us, man, it wasn't no jumping on no gay people. You would fuck around and get your ass handed to you, literally. You know what I mean? Like, Charlotte has always been like a city that I'm not gonna say just catered to it, but we kind of always just accepted gay people. You know what I mean? Like, we had a lot of gay clubs and shit. And if you talk shit to gay people, most of the time, you better be ready to fight or run because you're gonna be outnumbered. You know what I mean? That's just how it was back then. Like, it was this one particular spot uptown, man, and a lot of the gay people used to hang out right there all the time. And I think I was maybe 14, 15 years old at that time, maybe a year or two younger, maybe. But I remember walking by there one day, and I seen them, and me being, you know, a kid, not knowing no better, I said some old slick fly shit, being disrespectful, and they chased me. I had to run, bro. I had to run. I had to run from all. It was like 20, maybe 30 people chasing me down the street.
Oh man, they're probably like, "We better not catch you, man."
Yeah, you know,
man, I don't remember, but I know I was scared. I know I went from being disrespectful to being really scared.
Man, you know, it's weird because I didn't, growing up, I really didn't see many homosexuals, didn't hear much about, I mean, you'd hear stories about people who dealt with them, like a guy, you know, he went to a bar and thought he was with a chick and ended up being a man. You'd hear stories like that. Because I remember one story where I used to work, the company would go to Florida, like it was based in Alabama, but then they would go to Florida and work on like pipelines and stuff, like, you know, digging pipes, dealing with that stuff. And I heard one story, guy, you know, they were out there drinking and they went to a bar and then one guy was in the back seat with what he thought was a woman and ended up, you know, kissing and doing all that crap and then messed around and reached and grabbed the Jimmy and he flipped out and then tried to start beating on, I guess it would be the transgender at that time, or I don't know what you would call them, cross-dresser or whatever. And then he got hit, so the dude.
Yeah, let's just say cross-dresser.
Yeah, and so the dude ended up getting his butt beat by that cross-dresser because, you know, he started trying to hit on him because, you know, he grabbed the Jimmy. And then he got his butt whooped in the back seat of a truck by that cross-dresser. Oh, man, when they come back and told the story about what happened, it was so funny. Yeah. Oh, man, it was crazy. But I have a story about me and not knowing much about, I guess, the sexuality or stuff or not dealing with it. I had a homophobia.
Oh, man, you didn't get the Jimmy sucked by a dude.
No, I worked, I moved to New Orleans when I got out of high school. And then, I started working for, I think it was Lone Star. And, there was a guy there who was a homosexual and his boyfriend ended up coming there. Well, there happened to be a tornado that happened to be in the area. And I walked to the Lone Star, this is the back of my car. I didn't have, I can't remember, a car broke down. I didn't have insurance on it or something, but I couldn't, drive my car. So I had to walk. So I had to walk like 45 minutes to work and then 45 minutes back. And because I guess me being homophobic at the time, they asked me, they was going to give me a ride. And I was like, no, I'm good. And so, cause it was a truck that basically, it was a smaller truck, but it only had the bench seat. So I was going to have to be touching up on them. In my mind, I'm going to have to be touching up on them, to get this ride. So I walked in a damn tornado weather just because I didn't want to get a ride from two gay guys. And now me being older, I'd have took that ride in a heartbeat now, you know what I'm saying? But dude, I was 18 years old.
I'm still not gonna take that ride.
I would. Because, man, I'll tell you what happened. I ended up meeting some...
And there's nothing against them. I'm not homophobic or anything like that. You know what I mean? But it's just, I've been put in situations before that were just like that, just a normal thing. And for whatever reason, the person tries to go over into another direction with it. And because of my experience with it, that's why I would turn the ride down. You know what I mean? Not because they were gay, but because from my personal experience, they always try to turn it into something else.
Yeah. So when I actually moved back, I moved back to that,
I would avoid it.
Yeah. So I moved back to Alabama. So right before Katrina hit, and actually the day before Katrina hit, me and my brother grabbed all my stuff from Louisiana, come back to Alabama, and I ended up moving into an apartment, and then right across the hallway was some chicks, and they had a gay guy who would always come over and talk, and then it ended up his boyfriend ended up working at the Sam's that I ended up working at. And he ended up being cool as hell, man. Hell, he let me bum cigarettes from him. And he's just a cool dude, and none of them ever tried to hit on me, because most times, unless you're a really good-looking man, if they know you ain't gay, they're not, half time they ain't gonna mess with you. Now, I mean, if any man you get drunk, he ain't gonna give a crap. He gonna try to do whatever he does when he's drunk. But, and so, meeting them I got to actually meet, you come to find out, gay people are people too. You know what I'm saying? They're not aliens that are like, from a different planet, like, oh my God, they're gonna, take you away and do dirty stuff to you,
Me,
and so.
I don't have any issues. Go ahead.
Do what now?
I say, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was kind of just done talking there.
But no, I don't really have any issues with gay people, man. Now, it's my personal preference. I can work with gay people. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, they're just people. But I have an issue with gay men that are more so. How can I say it without being disrespectful? They're more feminine. The ones that walk around with the wrist bent, and they talk like they're women, walk like they're women, but they still look just like men. Back in the day, we would have called them sissies, or, something a little more derogatory.
They're more flamboyant.
I won't say, because I don't want to disrespect anybody, but we would have called them sissies. So those are who I have issues with. I don't have any issues with a gay man. A gay man that's still a man, that carries himself as a man. Hey, I can work with you. We can even go out and have a drink or two. We can conversate. But the ones that actually want to be women, I can't deal with them.
Well, there's a lot of times that, sometimes I wouldn't even know someone was gay, because it would be like...
Yeah, see, those are the ones I can work with. And it's not that they're hiding it. They're just not trying to be a woman. They just have a preference for the same sex. You know what I mean? But they don't want to be women. They're still men. I can deal with that. To me, that's more normal than a man walking around trying to be a woman.
You know what? Y'all ought to look up, whenever y'all get the chance, look up a comedian. I don't know his name, but just Google or YouTube. I found it on YouTube. Guy accidentally goes on a gay date. His comedian. He tells a story. He was shooting hoops with a guy, and then he acted like a normal man. Didn't think nothing about it. Hey man, you want to go to the basketball game with me? He's like, yeah. He's like, cool. I'll pick you up and all this. Okay. And then bought his drink. So he picks him up, opens the door for him, and he wasn't thinking about nothing. And then goes to the game. Dude buys him beers, everything else, and then he wasn't thinking nothing about it. And then I suck at being a comedian, but y'all have to look it up, because they go, hold on, wait, we was on a date. He's like, yeah, I bought you drinks, picked you up, opened the door for you. What you think?
Well,
he's like, I thought you were just a really good friend.
Him opening the door for him, that's kind of where I saw that where I was going, because he's like, hey, open the door for him, and oh shit.
Oh shit, yo.
I thought we were just hanging out, man.
All right, man.
gets to the end of the day.
Yeah,
and
that's wild right there.
Trying to kiss him or something. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? What are you talking about?
Yo, that happened on an episode of that '70s show.
I haven't really seen that show.
That
I've heard about the show, but
You
I
don't
ain't
remember,
really.
man? That was early on, and it happened with Eric. That's who the guy came off on because he thought Eric was gay. He thought Eric was gay and shit, man. So he basically the same thing that kind of he said that comedian story was, man. And so they were sitting in the car, they were chit chatting, they vibing to the music, rocking out or whatever. And then all of a sudden, old boy leaned over and kissed him. And Eric was like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? And dude was like, well, I mean, I thought you were into me, So he's like, no, I'm not. No.
We was jamming out the chair together.
It was a crazy episode, man. But then he was torn. After that, it kind of made everything awkward because the guy was supposed to be his lab partner and shit. And then they had gotten cool, so he was kind of torn between still hanging out with him or cutting the friendship off because, of the obvious reasons. It's like,
Now, I guess, that would be the awkward point, too, with lines of, like, men and women can't be friends. I guess men and gay men couldn't be friends. One would have sexual tension.
I mean, you can be friends with a gay man as long as that gay man doesn't want you.
But I'm saying if he wants you,
like
that's
if he
where
has
it would be.
You, then no, you can't be friends with him.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I wonder if it's that point to where, like, men and women can't be, and then you got a guy who likes you. I don't think I'm attractive enough for, to be on that, like, oh, yeah.
Man, have you seen some
this
gay
ugly
guys,
ass.
bro? It's not all about being attractive.
Come on, Bob. There's a guy out there for everybody, man.
Maybe. I mean,
it's not all about being attractive, bro. Because I don't see some gay guys that was pretty monstrous.
Well, it's like this. Most time, men, they say that men be looking for the looks and everything. And so it's kind of like, well, if they're looking for looks, Bach ain't got no chance.
And then, you kind of a heavyset dude, so they probably gonna be looking at your rump.
Yeah, I guess I got to start doing more squats to build out that figure then. I mean, dude, if people are going to be looking, I guess I need to give them something to look at. You can look, but don't touch.
Man, hey, it's like this. I would be flattered. You know what I mean? It would probably boost my ego a little bit. Man, men and women want me. You know what I mean? I'm that guy. Men and women want me.
Well, I'm bad with awkward moments and situations, and so I'd be like, I wouldn't know what to do. Like, I'm just gonna walk away, stage left.
So if a guy just walked up on you in the grocery store and said, "Excuse me, but you're looking good in those jeans, fella."
Well, they walk up and just smack in the ass, like,
Well, if he smacks my butt, well, then we got something. It's gonna be a different situation. But if he just walks up and says, "Oh, you're looking so hot," or something like that, I would just be flabbergasted. I'd just stand there shocked. I don't know what I would do. I don't deal good with like super awkward, weird moments. I'd be like,
I would just say, girl, I never.
Speaking of this, I got a funny game story. So I don't know if I told this already or not. Did I tell about the one where I was playing World of Warcraft with a buddy and his dad come in?
I don't think you did.
So back I used to play World of Warcraft too. So remember last time we was talking about it, I think I said I'd tell the story next time we talk. So I played World of Warcraft as well, and I played it with some buddies. I had one buddy. So we would do the Skype call. We all get on Skype, and basically he did not wear a headset. He let what we said come out of his ear, his like little speaker things, And then, I guess he talked through the mic built into, I don't know what mic he used. But,
so
one day,
speakers and then talking to the built-in mic or whatever.
yeah. And so, and we knew this. And one day, previously I had listened to, Lex and Terry and Dee. They used to do this, like after the hour show. And then what they made him do, or what he did, is he commented. They made like he watched gay porn and commented on it. And they played bits of it on the next time. And it was, it had it going, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And so that's what it sounded like. Oh yeah. The noises they make. And so I started doing that through the speakers, like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I just kept doing it. And his dad, the dude's dad, busted in the door, was like, what in the hell are you watching? And literally he was like, and then I remember one of the things, and I kept going, oh yeah. And so he was like, man, I don't care if you watch porn, but you shouldn't be watching gay porn, and I don't want to be hearing that coming through the speakers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just, oh, yeah. And we're laughing because we're playing with another guy. Me and the other dude's laughing our butts off. And since he's got it going through the speakers, ain't nothing he can do. It was so funny. He was so pissed at me for so long. But it was so funny. Dude had an abusive dad, now that I think back about it, but his dad was an alcoholic, horrible. He was abusive. And just, man, I feel sorry for the guy. He was a good kid. I call him a kid. He was younger than me, but he was still
like
old. He was in his 20s. He was in his 20s. And so at that time, I don't know. But anyways, his dad, he was still living with his dad, and his dad, it was sad though, his mom had died from cancer and stuff, and his dad was a butthole. His dad needed a good, ass whooping. I'm just going to say it. He needed a good ass whooping. And so, but it was so funny at the time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. Oh shit. I miss playing games with him.
Like, right there. Oh
yeah. But that wasn't what I heard from, Lex and Terry's little thing. All I heard was, oh, and so in my head, that's what they did, Because what I'm going to say during sex wouldn't have been gay porn, He'd be like, oh, okay, never mind. It's just the guy getting all. I know, I got you. Okay.
Oh, look at the size of that. Oh, my God.
And so, man, I'll never forget that.
I think we got out of trouble.
Yeah. Man, he was so pissed because Dad thought he was watching gay, and then he got in trouble for his dad thinking he was watching gay. Don't mind if you watch porn, better not be gay, boy. That's nuts. Why would you go in there anyways? Because if you're thinking your son's watching porn, you already know what happens when watching porn. So why are you going to bust up in a room with a chance of having your son having his Jimmy in his hand? And it's like, so why would you even come in there anyway? If I hear anything like that, I'm not dealing with any of that shit.
You're not opening that door,
Oh, hell no. What conversation do I even need to have at that point?
Well, it depends on their age. I think it depends on their age.
He was in his 20s. He was like 23.
If they're under 16, oh, nah. If he's 23, then no, you don't bust in there. You wait until you don't hear the sounds anymore, and then you awkwardly knock on the door like, son.
Just turn it down a little bit,
There, like,
just turn it down. And even if you hear a male voice going, oh yeah, it might be him.
We like to have a talk in the living room.
I mean, he was
Get
in his
the jig
20s.
out the hand, boy. I need to talk to you.
And so, yeah, no, that's just, man, and that's what's nuts
like,
about
Dad,
it. Yeah, no.
come on.
Because, you know, the thing is man, always have
like,
talks with your kids when it's age appropriate. That way, when it gets older, as they get older, you don't need to have re-talks with them. You know what I'm saying? The thing about this, though, is if you treat your kids right and you're a part of their life, they'll respect you, and then they'll respect you enough to listen and everything else. And so, but then, you know, you got to also think that they're going to do their own thing in life. And the only thing you can really do is try to lead them and guide them in the right direction. But that don't necessarily mean that it's going to go the way you want it. And
yeah,
so
you
at that point,
give them the tools that they need, and
then let them walk. Yeah. And you know, and the thing is though, it's even it's like this, man. If you know, and I know a lot of people for some reason they'll hang away from their kids and stuff, but it's like me. You know, I said this to somebody, and like people will neglect or you know, if their kids do stuff that they don't like, they'll walk away from the kids. Like, man, if Cora ended up being a serial killer, I would be there. I'd write her letters all the time, being in prison. I would put money on her books, and I would come and visit her every time I could. I would still love and support her, not being a serial killer, but I'd support her, you know, life in prison. You know, I'd support her through it, but I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, she ended up doing this or doing that, and so, you know what, she's not my daughter. No, fuck that, man. Dude, I believe kids are the greatest gift that God can give us, or does give us, and man, they're such a blessing to have that, man, you can't, well, for me, man, I'm, you know, no matter what happens, I'm going to always be there, unless I die. If I die, then I can't be there. But.
Well, I think, a lot of times parents walking away, I think they get too much into the emotional reactions. You know, they react emotionally versus like thinking about it. 'Cause, like, I'll admit, like when I had a little bit of an issue with my a situation with my oldest, and she left home with our grandson like spontaneously. Like one day she was there, the next day we realized she's packing up a truck and leaving, and we didn't have any contact with her for 2 years. Because she was mad at us about something, and we, to this day, because I think my wife and I have always been to kind of try to step in a little bit to try to help her out with her kid, but she was taking that as we didn't think that she was a good parent or something, so we were trying to do it for her, and we're like, no, that's not the case at all. But at first when she left, it was a very, very hard time for me and my wife. Like my youngest actually, at one point, basically, my wife was sitting there on the couch, the head buried in her hands, and I'm pacing back and forth. We're both sobbing, and my youngest daughter was like, I thought that I was going to have to call 911 because I thought you and Mom were going to have a heart attack. So during that time when she was gone, there was quite a few moments where I actually said, like, you know, like, I'm not going to have anything to do with my oldest daughter, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, hopefully she doesn't need help, whatever. But then, like a year and a half or so, 2 years later, you know, of course, like, you know, like life happens, shit hit the fan, and all of a sudden we get a phone call from her, and basically she lost where she was living, and basically she needed us. And like, I was surprised by my own reaction, because up to that point I had said like, yeah, obviously, like, you know, kind of like the F her or whatever, but even though I didn't mean that, but, you know, anger or whatnot. But we get the phone call, and we literally dropped everything in Tennessee, and we drove up to Kansas immediately and brought her back home with our grandkid. And it was like, I was surprised because it went from I was angry to I was grateful that we were reconnecting. And it was like, okay, well, maybe I was just letting my emotions get away from me. Like, obviously, like, she's my kid. You know, like, it was weird, you know, but that's kind of what it is.
I think it depends on the situation that happens. You know what I mean? Like in that situation there, that was kind of like just one of those family disagreements or family misunderstandings, and it corrected itself. You know what I mean? But sometimes, you know, our children don't allow us to be there in a certain capacity, and so what you need to do at that time is just be there when they need you to be. You know what I mean? Like with my youngest son. And I've treated all my kids the same way. You know what I mean? They were young adults. They weren't children. They weren't babies. When they got to a point they could understand and they could actually know right from wrong and shit like that, I treated them all the same. So he was given a choice, and he decided to leave the house. You know, he wanted to go do his own thing. He was 15 at that time. I told him, I said, if that's what you want to do, I'll always be there. If you want to come home, you know you can always come home. If you need me, all you got to do is call. I say, but I'm not going to stand by and just let you do what you want to do, because, see, he didn't want to go to school. He wanted to smoke reefer. He wanted to lay up with this little girl. It was like he wanted to do the shit that adults do. And so I told him, if that's the life you want, then you're going to have to leave and go have that life. So you got a choice. You can either leave and go do that, or you can stay here, continue to be a child for as long as you can, and, you know, get everything together. He decided to leave. Now, that was the best decision for him. He made a conscious decision. He only had to call me maybe 3 times since he's been gone, and now he's 18. So, you know what I mean? That was 3-4 years ago when he left. Since then, he's got his life together. He got a good job. He takes care of himself and the little girl that he's with. Unfortunately, he did end up going to jail behind her for a couple of days because of some domestic stuff, but hopefully that doesn't happen again, you know. But other than that, man, you know, I let him make his own decision, and it was the right one for him. And I just told him that I'll be there if you need me, but that's as far as it goes. I'm not going to stand beside you while you do bullshit. I'm not going to watch you do bullshit.
And I think sometimes the kids gotta learn, like, they gotta realize that you're only there trying to help them. Because I think she realized that when she left, and the way she was treated when she was gone, who she lived with, you know, it sounded like things didn't go very well. And so when she came back home, I guess because like I've always been over backwards for my family or whatever, you know. So I think it took going through that experience and then coming back home, basically like, yeah, I've got it much better here. Like, they're going to do everything they can to support me. And I've even told her now that like I deliberately now, because I don't want to have a repeat of the past. You know, I said if basically like if you need us for anything, you need help with your kid or whatever, or you need a ride somewhere, I said, my wife and I, we deliberately try to kind of like not step in automatically. Like, we tell her, like, let us know if you need something. Like, let us know if you need backup. We're there, but we're gonna let you do it because you're mom and he's your kid, and you know. So we literally just kind of like stay upstairs while she's downstairs in her room, and of course the grandkid was in the game room outside of her room. And, you know, he's on his tablet or watching whatever on TV, and we're upstairs, and we can still hear everything down there. But, you know, we hop in there if we're needed, but otherwise, like, she's got it, you know. But learning experience for all of us, of course, you know, because we learned that we were being too much involved, and she learned that she does, in fact, need us. So it's like, had to go through it, I guess.
Being grandparents, you're still the parent. You're just the grandparent. You know what I'm saying? And so it's you still have the parental instincts, but then I haven't got to that point yet. I can't wait to have grandbabies, but it's still going to take time. My kid's only 9, so. But
man, I
for Fane, yours was like a tough love, and so like the tough love, I'll be the same way. Like, Cora can stay here as long as she wants, as long as she's doing something that's productive and growing her as a person to help her as life. The thing as a parent, you want to be able to help your kid and give your kid the knowledge and information and help and support to be able to grow up to where they can be an adult, to have their own family, have their own means to support themselves and stuff. But like, I said that I'd be there with her in prison if she did that. Like, I wouldn't just, like, that's not my daughter anymore. But like, no, if she starts selling drugs out of the house, no, she's got to go. If she up here slanging dope or something, doing illegal activities in our crib, no, I love you. You got to go. We can still talk.
Yeah,
I'll still be there. See ya. I'll watch the kids. You know what I mean? You need a free babysitter. whatever. Or if you do get locked up, I'll write you. I'll come see you, you know, but I'm not going to support the stuff, but I'm not going to let their misdeeds make me not love them. Cause I know what it seems like. I'll give you an example of the thing that I'm talking about. My brother pissed off a woman, that was a friend of my dad's. She called and my brother kind of went off on her. And my brother was a little bit older too. Like he was, in his 20s, I want to say, I forget how old it was, but he went off. And my dad had nothing to do with my brother for like 2 or 3 years because he pissed off a woman that wasn't even blood. Like he said some disrespectful stuff, in which she deserved it. Well, I mean, I guess looking at it, she might have, might not. You know, I can't go into a story about what might or might not happen between a woman and my dad because I don't know.
At the time, you felt like she deserved it pretty much.
Yeah, and no, I still feel at the time she deserved it as well. I feel like my dad might have deserved to let me into as well, but not my place because I don't know. Yep. But my brother was basically trying to stand up for his mom, our mom, and so I have to respect that much. And I believe him and my dad could have had a conversation as men instead of my dad acting like a child and be like, well, you know what? I'm going to choose this woman over you, my flesh and blood, my child. Like me, if it had been me and I'd have been the dad, I'd be like, look here, this is the situation. This is what it is. You know, you can talk to me about if whatever you had to say to her about something, talk to me about it. And then we'll talk right now. And then if I'd have felt like, you know, he needed to apologize or whatever, I might not have had to ask to apologize. Because, you know, at that point, if your child thinks that a woman is breaking up a family, now, of course, you know, the kids want the parents to stay together because they love their mom and their dad, right? And so to them, it's everything. But as we know, not all marriages and relationships work out. And so, you know, with him being in his 20s, he could have understood it if they'd have had a conversation. But no, my dad decided to have nothing to do with him for like 2 years. The only reason they got back in touch was because we needed basically my grandma died and me and my brother had to go help move and deal with all the furniture and house dealings with stuff. And so that's how they ended up getting back talking through help moving and stuff. But anyways, go ahead.
Now, with that situation there, man, it's a little touchy, and I'm a little torn on it. Now, on one hand, I can agree with everything that you were saying, but because of the age that your brother was, I feel like it was up to him from that beginning of the whole thing to take it to his dad. Because of his age, it's like you're a grown man now. There's no time that's acceptable for you to lash out at a woman, you know, regardless if you're defending mom or not. You're old enough to know, okay, this is dad's new girl or whatever she was, so you take that to dad. Now, if you're a child and you lash out at that, okay, I'm a little bit more understanding because you're dealing strictly from your emotions. You know what I mean? But as a 20-something-year-old adult, you should have came to me. Now, I still wouldn't have cut him off. That's some bullshit. I'm not going to cut you off for that. But I can see both sides of it.
So then at this point, though, if you're married, your side piece shouldn't be calling your house. Shouldn't be calling your homeland, your home phone. You have a cell phone.
Wait.
She calls the cell phone.
I misunderstood the story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so she called our home.
Separated.
No, they're still married. And so, no, they were married.
Okay.
And a woman's calling the landline. Why don't she call his cell phone? He had a cell phone. They were cell phones during this time, right? Hell, I had a cell phone at this time.
Hey, but
and so,
even with that, I think I would have still took it to dad because it was his fault for her to even be able to do that.
Yeah.
He had to
this is the thing that I guess I should have implied more with it. So like this woman has basically been coming in between. It wasn't just a straight one-time moment. This woman, it was more than just that. You know, it it was a whole ordeal and situation having to deal with, right? And it's like a lot of stuff she did was kind of
like
disrespectful towards, yeah. And so, but it was kind of like the stuff that she would do was trying to basically be disrespectful to our mama. And so she called that landline, and my brother being pissed off with everything, he was like, you know what? She's about to hear what I got to say. And then so she went back and told my dad, and my dad rolled up and was like, you know what? I'm done with you, yada yada. And of course, he didn't live at the house. He had already moved out and stuff. He wasn't, but it was, you know, I'm not gonna have nothing to do with you anymore. You're not my kid, blah blah, etc. Yada yada yada. And so, it's just weird for me that people put others before their own blood, especially their kids. I'm going to tell you, ain't no strange woman ever going to come between me and my kid. Hell, my wife won't even come between me and my kid. And so I'm not going to let.
I've always heard of
to
it,
me,
like, as far as like for like spouses and stuff, you want to actually. I've always heard like to you know, lead by example with your kids. Like you want them to see that you and your wife or spouse or whatever got each other's backs and you guys are partners versus like you take the kid over the spouse or whatever, you know?
Oh yeah. So you have to, so basically the way I do it is I want the example when Cora looks for a man and the way that she's going to be treated, that's how I treat my wife. But what I mean it though is if my wife's doing something that she shouldn't do, I'm not just going to be like, okay, hey, yada yada yada.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so it's because there's some spouses that love their spouses way more than their own children, and they allow bad stuff to happen to their children because of the people that they love. And so, like, it gets so bad to the extent that these people love and care so much about, like, say, women, and there's actually been cases, I can't believe it happened, but to where women would let their boyfriend or fiance molest their child to keep them happy. That's how bad that gets for some people with the love and the, you know, them wanting to be loved by that person. They allow abuse to happen.
That's when that relationship is toxic. You know,
he didn't do that. Quit lying. Like,
well, no.
That's
the one point, one of the things the
relationship.
woman knew, like the woman actually knew. The woman was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And so there are cases to where people love their partner or spouse, whether it's their husband or wife, fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, that they will allow foul and evil stuff to go on and happen, or they'll overlook stuff because of them having that love or wanting to be loved by them.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even think that that's actually love. I don't think. I think it goes deeper into the emotional and mental realm, man. I think it goes a little deeper than love. You know what I mean? At one point it might have been love, but for you to allow something like that, it's morphed into something that's really twisted. And I don't think that's love anymore.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know. And I'm not, I just know that
it's kind of like
stuff like that
drugs.
happens.
It's kind of like drugs. You know what I mean? That heroin addict that feels that they love that drug, they need that drug, even though it's taking their teeth, it's taking their families, everything, they're losing everything, but they feel they got to have that no matter what. It's that type of deal, I think, with people like that, man. They just, for whatever reason, they get stuck in that situation and they feel like that if they lose that person, that's going to be the end of the world. Not them killing them or killing their child or anything like that, but them losing that person. And that's some really unhealthy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, when you got like a domestic violence situation where like, you know, the guy's beating the woman up or whatever and she's afraid to leave. Or if she does leave, of course, he tries to call her back. I'm like, please come back. I love you. I swear I'll change. Please. And, of course, like, she wants to believe him, so she goes back, or, you know, she's afraid if she tries to leave, he's going to try to kill her or something, you know, and he thinks he loves her, but really not. That's probably, I think we could argue that they probably really don't. They might think they love her, you know, but honestly, how could you love somebody if you're going to beat the shit out of them?
Well, see, they love her like a possession. You know what I mean?
Well, you know,
see, love is different for everything and everybody. You know what I mean? You love chocolate cake, but you don't love chocolate cake the same way you love your children. You love to go fishing, but you don't love fishing the same way that you love your mom. You know what I mean?
Nope.
It's all different. So though the guys that do that, man, they probably do love that person, but they love them as a possession.
And see, and that's what's weird, because a lot of people, like self-worth, people talk about, well, you know, it's your self-worth, can't nobody take that from you, which is not true, because people diminish how you feel about yourself, by the way. Like if you grow up in an abusive household, like with me, my dad always made me feel like I was the scum of the earth. That's why I don't have any, like, my self-worth is bad. What, you know, how I see myself is worthless. And so people feel that way about themselves, and they get caught up in stuff like that, and they feel like, you know, they're lost in situations like that because they feel like that's the only situation they can have that makes them feel a little something that they're not what everybody has told them that they are, if that makes sense.
Especially if it's like their first relationship, you know, like that's
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I didn't feel like I was worthless per se back when I was younger, but the relationship that me and my mom had, man, because of, you know, her personal demons and stuff she was dealing with at that time, I didn't feel worthless, but I felt like I wasn't supposed to exist. You know what I mean? That was it for me. Was like, you know what I mean? I just felt like, okay, if my mom feels this way about me, why does anybody else in the street or anybody else in the world have any reason to feel anything else? So I'm going to be this certain person. I'm going to do these certain things. I'm going to make decisions based on the way that I've been made to feel and what I understand to be truth. You know what I mean? And then by me also being deep in the church at that time and being young, it made it even harder for me to understand that I was going, you know, why I was going through those things, because I was brought up to believe that by me being a child of God, if I needed help, somebody would be there. You know what I mean? And so when nobody was ever there, I was left to my own devices, and what that did, it made me make decisions that I wouldn't have normally made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
you had the support system.
I wasn't like this really fucked up person, but the way that I view life made me make certain decisions that I wouldn't have. You know what I mean? And then when I started having children, I kind of stepped away from that life, but I never really let it go completely. You know what I mean? And now I'm basically this person that I can love, but if I feel myself getting too close to somebody, I'll sabotage it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm still single, because I've always sabotaged all my relationships. People will ask, well, man, why is it? It was never the girl. I have been cheated on before, and I was engaged to someone that cheated on me. But overall, it's always been me, and I've always done that because I feel like, because of the way I was treated back then and because of what I went through, now I'm kind of it's like I don't trust women completely. So it's like I'm always waiting for the woman I'm with. I'm always waiting for her to do that fucked up thing. And whenever
you're looking for something
like
bad to happen, so it
I'll
happens.
do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like what I've come to realize is I create my own misery. You know what I mean? That's basically all I do. I create my own misery, man. I'll take a situation that's really nothing and I'll make it into something else. And, you know, my rationality for that will be, well, you're going to do that anyway. You just hadn't done it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff with relationships and love and life in general, man. Being a human being is very hard.
Oh yeah.
Versus like when you got the cats that like to just sleep 18 hours a day or whatever. It's like, I want your life.
Yeah. Man, as long as you got the right the owner, man. Yeah, some people even abuse animals too. That's the thing, man. People abuse the innocent. You know, it's that's the bad thing, whether it's child abuse. Yeah. And that's what's bad about it. Like why abuse the innocent? Why hurt the innocent? That's
Although, you know, if you're like us and you don't, because we don't declaw, so we just trim, you know. So like technically, if they're still clawed, they can fight back, and they, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
not really. Unless it's like a wildcat or something.
No, I mean, because even if they're like a house cat, like if they still have claws, if they get annoyed with you, they'll tear you up.
Well, no, I mean like somebody who wants to actually abuse them. You know what I mean? No, I'm not talking about like just we're petting and they can attack us and us be like, ow, you know. I'm talking about for people who actually abuse animals. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never abuse animals, man, but I would also never be a pet owner. I just feel like animals belong outside. You know what I mean? I feel like when we started making pets out of these animals, we basically doomed some of them.
Yeah. You need to get yourself a dog, man. You know, have a nice little companion in the apartment with you.
Yeah, I got I got a service animal. I love her to death.
I can't put that type of money. I can't put that type of money into something that can't take care of me.
Well, if it's a service animal, they can.
It costs too much money to take care of a dog, man. From the insurance that you gotta have to the shots to feeding them.
But you don't
what
have
insurance
for me? On them, though.
Wait, you can get insurance on animals?
Yeah.
How does the insurance work on animals?
Pet owner's insurance.
I think you can for like to help cover like emergency vet bills or whatever. But like I've never had the insurance on an animal.
Yeah, just take them to the vet.
It's not cheap, but usually it's like they just reimburse you too. It's not like getting regular health insurance on a pet or whatever. And I wish it was like that, because then I would totally do it. Because then we could just, hey, I'm going to take it to the vet and actually get shot.
It costs too much money to take care of an animal, man. It's just not for me. The only thing I've ever had was 2 snakes, and those were the easiest things for me to do. 2 snakes. I didn't have to spend a lot of money. You know, I didn't have to spend a lot of money. I didn't have to clean up after them. You know what I mean? That was easy peasy for me. But dogs and cats and stuff like that, it's just too much money for me.
Well,
I'm not invested in animals enough for that.
Because, like, I know dogs are a lot more maintenance because you got to walk them, take them outside. But, like, cats in general, like, for the most part, they want you present with them when they want you present with them. But otherwise, we have one cat that literally they live boxes. So, like, we put a little pad, like one of those little plush pillows in one of these boxes, and like our cat Binks will just literally like, I'll be like, "Where's Binks at?" And we won't be able to find her half the day. Oh, she's in the box. She's been asleep half the day. So it's like, you know, if they want attention,
I've just never been much of a animal person like that, except in the wild. You know what I mean? Like I love dealing with animals in the wild and shit. But I've just never been a pet person, man. I don't even really go over people's house that much that have dogs and shit. I don't do it. I don't do it because most people that I know that have dogs, they allow their dogs to be on the furniture. The dog run up on you, jump on you. It's like, yo, man, you ain't got the dog trained no better than that.
And Barry's like, hey, look at that that cat with the orange stripes. Oh my God, so adorable. I was like, oh crap.
I used to be a cat person way back in the day when I was young. But no, I got a service animal for mine, but she's trained. But no, we definitely let her get on the couch and
Certain
everything else.
animals, they're fine, man. 'Cause they're not gonna jump all on you. They're not gonna do anything that they're not supposed to do, unless they've gotten old and senile.
They forgot.
Well, at that point, they just sit there and just, when they get old, they're like, I'm just going to chill here. Yeah, I'll see you later. The older dogs are the best, man. We used to do Rover. We used to watch, dogs, and we'd get like the older dogs. And we've had 2 or 3 of them pass away that we've watched. And man, it's sad, but man, them older dogs are great companions, man. They will just chill with you. They'll either sit by your feet and just chill out with you, or they'll sit in your lap. Depending on how big they are, they'll just get on the couch with you. And it's basically like just having a buddy watching TV
Yeah,
with you.
I don't want them sitting on my lap. If anything,
Well, it depends on how big they are.
They can't sit on my lap ever.
Like we had a little bitty pug.
Yeah, I don't want them on my lap ever.
I'm trying to remember, was it Stella? I can't remember her name. But great dog. She ended up passing away. And then we had another one, Rico. He was a black lab. Great dog. He ended up passing away too. And yeah, it just, so basically, man, the dogs, especially for people who don't have friends or people who's not like a people person, dogs make great companions because they never screw you over. They never they're always happy to see you.
Yep.
They it's basically you got yeah. And so dogs are great companions. Cats on the other hand, yeah. I used to like cats. I used to have cats. Now I'm like, I'm not really a cat person anymore.
Because like growing up and with my ex-wife and stuff, I
y'all
never had a cat that liked me.
Even if I ain't got one friend, I got some online friends.
Yeah. Well, back when I had cats, there wasn't no online. There wasn't no online friends. Man, to believe that there used to not be the internet when I was alive? Can you believe that? Oh my word! Jeez, I'm old.
Had the big old floppy disk,
Yeah, Oregon Trail, playing the Oregon Trail. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Only way you could play video games was.
Well, I mean,
floppy disks or with
the internet's been around since the 80s, I believe, or a little before. It just wasn't for everybody. It wasn't available to everybody.
Yeah.
Because you remember, well, I don't know, you might not remember those little dial-up fucking discs they used to have in the grocery stores and in the mail, where you get the CD and put it in your thing, and you
I remember dial-up with
hear that long ass shit.
Yeah, no, well that wasn't. That was just like the internet.
America.
No,
America
what was
Online.
it? Some with A. Yeah, America Online, but it was AOL.
Yeah,
AOL.
America Online.
AOL.
Yeah, America Online.
But that wasn't in the 80s, though.
AOL, that was America Online.
Yeah, but that wasn't back in the 80s, though. That was 90-something.
Now, we started getting those discs and shit in the late 80s. Because I was still a peewee at that time.
I remember the first time we got a computer. So I was in middle school. So I was born in 86, and I was in middle school when we got a computer. And what age are you in middle school? What age are you in the 7th and 8th grade?
I was 13, 14.
Okay, so that's when we got our computer, and then that's when we got the AOL, when I was 13, so that would be, 1998, 99? I'm bad at math. Somewhere around
It had been out for a while by then.
And so, yeah, man, old school, old times. AOL. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. The AOL, what's the name? It started in '85 as Quantum Computer Services, and then it turned into AOL. They rebranded as AOL in '91.
Look and see when the internet when people were actually able to go online and actually like find the information.
Yeah, 'cause I think it was going before the '80s, but it was mainly like government stuff. I think.
Really? So the internet's
Like,
been out
computers were,
longer
like,
than
designed
what?
Like, I think
Huge.
computers were, like,
Huge.
The
designed for,
internet
like,
was
forums
made
or whatever.
public in '91, but it was around in the '80s, like he was saying for government stuff and for businesses. But it went public for everybody in 1991.
Oh wow.
That was when the first actual website went live for the public.
Man, yeah, buddy.
And then in '93, CERN released the World Wide Web technology into the public domain, and that made it free for anyone to use, and was a key moment for the explosive growth.
I got a question for you, Chris. You're a truck driver, and I believe they've already got some self-driving technology going on. Do you think that they'll be able to develop self-driving? You think that will it get to where it'll be self-driving enough to where they won't actually need truck drivers anymore?
Well, the only problem, because I mean, yeah, they have a couple. They have like at least one company out there that actually has a truck that can drive from point A to point B. You know, it's with that truck. I believe they're still expected to have a driver actually in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to kind of like monitor. You know, I'm like, okay, well, if you got to be in there just in case you got to jump in if the truck's doing something it's not supposed to, then is it really self-driving? Plus, they can't open the truck itself won't be able to open the doors. Like, it could pull in and back into a dock, but, you know, if you got to have swing doors where they got to go back there and open them up, then you're still going to have like, you know, staff doing it. So it's like, it's a good idea and a good concept and stuff, but, you know, then you see, like, I think you know that, you guys heard of that TV show that's like, that got like a bunch of them in different cities all over the United States, like the 911 series or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
They got one of those. They had got a call. I guess because they had like some satellites or whatever that ended up with a geostorm up there in space, and they all hit each other, and so a bunch of shit was raining down. And there was a 911 call because a self-driving Uber was basically just driving around on its own, and it was erratic because, of course, like it lost communication. So there's the passenger in the back seat basically couldn't communicate with anybody. They had a paper that they wrote help on it, had held that up to the window. So like somebody called 911 because they saw this car just like, you know, doing figure eights in this little intersection or whatever. And they had to like, I think they put like sandbags or something to like barricade in front and back so it wouldn't back up or go forwards because it thought it was going to hit something. And that's how they were able to get the guy out of the car. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't take a self-driving Uber.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just looks like the further and further we get with like AI technology and stuff, the less people are going to need people. It's like, and you know, and they're going further and further to do this, like especially in like the music industry or just the entertainment industry, period. You got AI artists, being at the top of charts, you know, they got, you know, to where it's fully AI other than somebody writing out a script or whatever, or prompt. And so basically the AI sings, the AI does the music video, the AI, basically does it all. And then, you know, you got some like McDonald's, I think they said a McDonald's in Texas was fully, you know, AI done. Well, basically there's no human workers there to deal with, food place. And so it's kind of like, how far are people going to push people out to either A, save money, make more money, and then, you know, what does it look like for people when nobody has jobs? Man, this AI stuff's getting scary, man, not just necessarily for war, but basically for, you know, how far are you going to push people out of living on this planet, being able to do stuff, you know?
Man.
That McDonald's you're talking about, the service part is fully automated, but humans still make the burgers and stuff as far as cooking. But everything else is automated.
I got you. Yeah, I think I was listening to something last night on YouTube. They were talking about it. And, so yeah, but then at some point, you know, hell, if they already got robots they're already working on robots to be able to cook, what do people do, man? Because basically doing something like McDonald's, basically all it is, all you need is a way to drop a burger onto a thing, cook it for X amount of time, and then slide it onto a bun. So, I mean, if they fully make stuff in, like canned stuff to where you basically have a jar, put the mayonnaise in the jar, then spin the jar top on, you know, it ain't got to be that hard to be able to make a burger the same way you would do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just a test restaurant. It's a test. But you say now what were you saying about what wouldn't be hard to make a burger?
Yeah, I'm saying if they make stuff if they already make stuff on a work line, like jars of mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, basically stuff like that, it wouldn't be hard to build something that can do the same process like that, except for like hamburgers, fast food restaurant hamburgers.
No,
drop the hamburger patty on drop the patty onto a grill, let it cook for X amount of time, and then take and you know, let it slide down onto a bun, and then it goes down a little bit, it puts another bun on it. If it needs like if it needs mayonnaise or something, just go to the line and just squeeze mayonnaise on it, bam, then, you know, put all your condiments on it that same way. And then at the end of it, you put your bun on it. It'd definitely be easy to do fries, especially if you have, don't do paper bag fries, but make it the way you do it in a cardboard. It would definitely be easy to do it that way.
Yeah, I think for mass production, that would probably work out. For like a fast food restaurant, though, man, you would probably end up having to put a lot of money into your AI tech, because, you know, everybody is going to have a different variation of what they want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So unless you just make it so that people have to order everything the same way, you're going to have that extra programming in there to deal with the thousands of different type of orders that are going to come in.
And see, and that's the thing, as the initial buy for multiple would be it, but I mean, if you look at it as far as like, so they're already making robot companions, and the robot companions went from 150,000 to where now you can buy them for like 5,000. So if the prices drop that much within just a few years, if they keep going with the technology that they have, because it's like this, you know, they're using AI. So a lot of the stuff's like, how are you going to contain AI to keep it from coming, you know, self-aware, or basically, you know, to where it can take over everything. Is they're going to try to control AI with AI. Their basic thing is we're going to get AI to limit AI. So the thing is, if they're using AI to build AI, it's not, you know, it'll be cheaper than having a person to do it, just because of the fact that, they don't have to pay the AI. So if they already can get robots to build stuff, it'll actually be cheaper than.
it would be cheaper, but the cost side for the actual software and hardware is still going to be expensive, because for every variation of what you need your AI to do, it's going to have that extra processing power, that extra storage, that extra memory. So it just depends on, in my opinion, I think it's just going to depend on the type of business and, exactly what the AI is expected to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to think about it, everything just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper as far as like business wise. I know the AI program, since everybody's so into it and just normal people, it's still expensive. But I think cause I don't know when, like the servers and stuff, I think you just need the one program, cause it would be like building, like a doll. It would basically be like having a doll and then a bunch of different programs, like the plugins, and then say, okay, so for this, the hamburger side would have a plug-in, and then your side stuff, so like, your fish meals, your french fries, your pies, your milkshakes, your drinks, each one it'd be just like a different plug-in, and so you kind of think of that running like a doll.
But then you would still need the high-tech computer. You would need the high-tech computer to run that DAW. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, say for instance, if that was already out there, me and you couldn't get that and install it on our home computer and use it, because we wouldn't have the processing power needed. We wouldn't have the speed needed. You know what I mean? So even though the process of putting it all together would pretty much be simple, you would still need something that's strong enough, fast enough, and smart enough to utilize it. So the company, it would still have to be, you know what I mean, like a company that's actually got some money.
And for the most part, most of them companies do, though. That's the thing. And then if you look at it, and every company is going to look, especially ones like McDonald's and Burger King's, ones that's been around forever and intend to continue being around forever, they have that initial startup cost. And then so all they got to do is get that startup cost, and then so they pay one lump sum to do the startup cost, but then they don't have the same, I guess, pay that they have to keep paying for with like employees and stuff. And so I think, and that in the end game would be a cheaper way to do it. But then at the same thing, I mean, I hate to say it, it's like this, how many times is meals messed up because people mess up? Like for me, most part, I hate going out to eat at fast food restaurants because they never get the meal right. They either get the wrong burger, they either put the condiments that you can't have. Like my wife can't have cheese. And it seems like every burger she gets that we say with no cheese, it always has cheese on it. And so dealing with the AI,
man, I think that's
more than likely
on, which restaurant you go to, the people that work there. You know what I mean? Some people are more in tune with their job than others. Some people are just there to get that check, so they're going to do the bare minimum.
And see, the thing about AI though is it's always going to try to do the best that it can do at getting that job done. And so that's kind of like AI will actually be better in a sense, but then
punched in your prompt and got the wrong thing?
I don't know. I haven't.
But you using AI like for different things. How many times have you punched in a prompt and got the wrong image or got
that's
the wrong spelling?
That's the thing is I don't really do that. I used the Chat GPT one time to make that little dragon image when I was doing the pixel art. But it gave me a nice dragon image though, so I can't, and so the one time that I did use it,
I'll tell you, for every 10 times that I've had AI help me create an image, at least 8 of those times I had to redo my prompt 5 or 6 different times because the spelling would be wrong. it would have an extra head, or extra lip, or extra finger, a missing finger. Something would always be wrong. Now, in the more expensive AI programs, it happens a lot less, but it still happens. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't think there's any way around, something not going right. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. You know what I mean? Like, that's just always. I think even if you go completely automated, I think you still need to have a couple of human employees on the property, because something's going to go wrong. Something might go wrong. You know what I mean? If it doesn't, then hell, you know what I mean? You got the security that it might.
That's like having the driver still having to be present in the truck or whatever, because it's like, well, what's the point of the AI self-driving if you still have to have a driver present,
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, AI, if it's true AI, which the public doesn't have access to yet. We don't have access to true AI. Because if we did, they wouldn't have to do updates on their end. AI would do its own updates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There would be one program, and when it needed to fix something, it would just fix it. It wouldn't, it wouldn't be 3 or 4 different versions and this and that, and hey, we added this and we added that. AI would be doing all that. So until we get that true AI available to the public, I don't really think we have to worry too much about something taking over, unless the government's already using and shit like that. But other than that, I think we're pretty safe. Now, as far as the jobs go, it is going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to hurt the workforce. Most definitely. Wow. It's going to hurt the workforce. But
I was going to say, whenever you get the chance, look up how many jobs have already been lost due to AI stuff.
Or like machines.
Well, a lot of stuff, man, if I think some people, instead of losing their job to AI, what some people can actually do is learn to utilize it and become part of that. You know what I mean? Become part of the person that helps to create the code for AI. Become part of the operations part. It's like, now, if you got like the basic job that's being replaced by AI, and literally a monkey could have did your job, then you need to get some more skills. You know what I mean? And then if that's not being harsh or anything, that's just a fact, man. If all you know how to do is flip a fucking burger, then you got to get some more skills under your belt, because you can't live life just by flipping burgers, unless you go flip them out in your backyard and sell them yourself.
Or,
think of it this way. Well, think of it this way though, man. So me and you write songs. Not everybody can write songs. We also make beats. Not everybody can write beats. So you take one so say we got a band together, right? You have a beat maker, you have a songwriter, and then you have a singer, and you have a mixer and master, then you have a guy with business smarts, right? Okay. So the guy with the business smarts is like, hey, I can buy a program, and an AI can make the beat, write the lyrics, sing the song, and mix and master it, so I can get rid of 4 people. All I got to do is say what kind of song I want, and this AI will put out the music, and then I can cut everybody out of it. I pay X amount of money. I can pay a yearly subscription to Suno or Udi or whatever the name is.
True.
And so it cuts out 5 skilled people.
Yep.
But hey, now I'll tell you what, I used to think AI music was not good. You ought to hear the covers that AIs do.
Some of them are good now, yeah.
Jeez, they are beyond
good. I'm not saying they're not good, but people are always gonna want to go to a concert, bro. People are always gonna want to see people singing, experience that soulfulness that's in their voice, being at that concert or having that. You know what I mean? So even though the AI music is cool, it sounds good, and it can do all that, there are still always gonna be people like us that prefer a real singer.
Let's look at it this way, though. So they do want to go to concerts. But do you remember when they did that Tupac thing where they had just like a hologram of him and people went crazy and loved seeing it? That's all they got to do. Hologram, whoever that they have done the artist for.
Because it was Tupac, bro.
But
it was Tupac. That's why they went crazy for it.
Well, this is the thing, though.
Who's going to want to pay all that money for a concert to go see a person do a AI show if that person is still alive?
Hold up. This is the thing though. It's new age stuff. But so what happens is this is how it goes. So the only reason they wanted to see the hologram because it was Tupac, right? Okay. So what happens is they build up this AI's brand. So the AI is the singer, the writer, all that, and the AI has a visual face. It has a body. It has what it looks like, right? People are fans of these new AI bands or AI groups, and they become fans of it as to like they would have with Tupac, because we're talking about the new generation, not mine and your generation, the new generation I don't listen to AI music. Only reason I got caught up listening that I know AI does a good job is I was watching the guy do reactions to like, what would a 50 Cent song, Many Men, sound like if it was done by, a rock band or something, like metal. And I was like, oh, and then come to find out, I'm like, oh, that's an AI. I'm like, geez, we're in trouble, dude. Like, I thought it was a person at first, and then come to find out it was AI. I said, we're in trouble, dude. And so basically what happens is they become a fan of it.
The only people I think are really in trouble are people that don't have real skill. If you actually have talent, man, I think you'll always be able to make money doing your thing. You just won't be able to do it the way that we're trying to do it now. You'll have to take it back to the old school methods. You'll have to push your own music.
It becomes to basically, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It comes down to AI can come out with unlimited music, unlimited beats, unlimited everything. It can be exactly what people see. People are it's a different time. Like, people like the AI art, the AI everything. There's a big AI movement with like the AI videos, especially with the gorilla. So people are really into that. And so the thing is they're now more into that than seeing other people, content creators, like, live human ones. And so the thing is this is the movement we're getting into, and that's going to be the future. Of course, if you got the talent and all that, you can, definitely make money and get into it, etc. But you're going to have a harder fight.
I mean, hell, the fight is hard even without AI. It's just not set up for you to, make serious money and do what you, really want to do with music and stuff, man. It's just not set up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Even without the AI. Hell, look at what they pay us for streaming platforms, bro. We barely get a fraction of a penny per stream.
Yeah, man, that's ridiculous. And, dude, it's ridiculous, man. It's like, the entertainment industry used to be big. I get also, so many people got screwed over just because they didn't know the business. But I think anybody who knew the business back many years ago made a lot of money off of it.
Oh yeah, they did, man. Oh yeah. The ones that actually knew the business and stuff like that, man, those are the ones that are pretty much still around, and you don't see them getting involved in the dramas and the bullshit stories and all that other crazy shit. You hear them, they got involved with a company, or they decided to drop an album after such and such time. Well, what have they been doing? Oh man, they've been doing production for so many years, or they've been doing this. You know what I mean? Because it is some that actually knew what signing those contracts meant and actually did read the contracts and things like that. A large percentage of them, though, they didn't, hit the billionaire and millionaire status. And it was because they didn't sign certain contracts. They decided to roll with integrity and their morals and things like that. But then you had the ones that said, well, you know what? Okay, you're going to agree to give me X amount of dollars. I'm going to sign whatever you want me to sign.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, because man, you play with people's dreams. Like so many people dream of being big, being heard. You know, it's like one of the people we're working, or it's in the chat. I can't remember who said it, but they're like, you know, I'll worry about all of it whenever my name gets big. Well, the thing is what if you missed out all on that? Well, you did miss out on the money for your name to get big. And then once your name gets big, you have really, you know, what steps are you going to take to making it after that point? Like if your name's big and you ain't already getting paid for it because you're waiting for your name to get big, well, you're not going to make no money because all it is, you're going to be working with the same people. And it's like telling Snoop, man, he should have took his producer cut. I don't know if he did or not, but he should have took a producer or a beat maker cut on Bubba's album because, you know, people are going to expect different things. If you do one thing on the other, that's what they're going to expect for this. And then it'll come down, well, how come you did this? And then it's like, well, you know, how you play the game in the beginning and the middle. Yeah. So how you play the game in the beginning and the middle is basically how you're going to play it in the end. And so it's money,
like,
you know.
Like, you know, if I know that you didn't take producer credit for that album, why do you want producer credit for my album?
Yeah.
That's the question that the artist being asked. Well, hold up, why am I paying producer credit? I mean, producer split if this person didn't, and we're on the same label.
Yeah, and it happens too, cause man, I was watching a thing the other day. I forget the rapper's name. A rapper found out that the producer he was using, the guy he would buy beats from, he found out that he was paying like $5,000-$10,000 for a beat, and then the other people only paying like $1,000. And then they had a phone call, and the phone call, people record all the stuff, so the phone call is being recorded, right? And the dude's in here flipping out on the producer, cussing, raising hell, and everything else. And it's like, well, how come, you know, these people get the beat for so much less than I do? And so, well, one thing, that's why I'm definitely never going to tell anybody how much I sell beats for and stuff like that, you know. But the thing is the guy got mad over it because somebody he knew was selling beats. And in all honesty, you know, there's reasons behind it. He didn't have the same name as these other people had. I mean, there's different reasons why they sell beats, but it's like you're saying, the playing the favorite things. Like if you got somebody that's being consistent, coming and buying your beats and always working with you and stuff, and when they find out that they're getting paid, they have to pay more than somebody else does that might not use your beat on the same thing, they're going to get pissed about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm this way. I'm more likely to accept something and be willing to work with something if I know. Give me the choice to decide if I want to do that or not. You know what I mean? But if you withhold information from me, then I find out later, now it just seems like you were trying to fuck me over. You know what I mean? And that might not have been your intention, but that's the way I take it because you never told me it was going on.
Well, basically what happened from what I caught the gist of it was it would be like me and you going to Snoop for a beat. Okay, because you're famed, Snoop going to charge you $100 for a beat. But then because I'm me, or just, you know, he charges you $100 for a beat, he charges me $500 for a beat. And then basically me and you come up, we talk one day like, yeah, man, I got this beat for $100 from Snoop. Or I get all my beats for $100 from Snoop. And they'd be like, what, man, he charges me $500. You'd be like, nah, I don't know what to tell you. He only charges me $100 for a beat. That's kind of the same, that's kind of the concept of what was going on with that situation.
Yeah, see that I wouldn't, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, bro. It's like I need to know why I'm paying. Is it because you know that I'll pay that amount? Is it because you know I got the money? Like, I need to know why I'm paying more.
And see, and that's the thing too. It's like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm really big on details.
Well, it's business too. It's kind of like, there's got to be a reason behind it. Is it like, if I'll give you an example. If I made a beat and Eminem was like, hey, I want that beat, I'm not going to pay for it, but I'll give you 10% of the song. I'll give you 5% what the song makes. I'm going to take that deal because I know what kind of money I'm going to make off 5% from Eminem. Now, granted, if I got bigger and named more, like I could take more. But like today, say I made a song, M said, I want that track, I'll give you 5% of what it takes. I know I'll make more off that 5% than probably anything else. Definitely up to that point. Because Eminem's going to do numbers. 50 Cent going to do numbers. People, whether I'm speaking old people now, but there's people that do numbers that sell, that get streaming, and it's like, they have them numbers. So yeah, there's got to be a reason why they did it, but people get pissed off that though. If they feel like they're getting cheated or done wrong, yeah. I didn't kind of forget where I was going with it, but.
Now don't get me wrong now. Like if like say for instance we ain't been doing business that long, or I'm newly doing business with you, then no, I wouldn't care about that, because I already know, being a businessman, that I have different prices for different people that I deal with. You know what I mean? I already know that. So that's cool. But like if we've been doing business together for X amount of time, I just feel like, okay, bro, if you charging everybody else $100, I should be paying that too, because I've been dealing with you for like 10 years now. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like that. You know what I mean? It's just different parts of the details of the story is going to bring my reaction. You know what I mean? On one hand, I may not care at all, because I know business and I know everybody's going to have a different price most likely. But then on the other hand, it's the personal aspect of it. If I've been doing business with you for a minute and you're still charging me like that, but you're charging everybody else these low numbers, you know what I mean? It's like that with me.
And see, for me personally, I'm not gonna tell nobody. Like if somebody's like, "Hey, well, what'd you get on your cuts with X, Y, and Z?" I'm like, "Well, that's my personal business." You know what I mean? I'm not gonna ask you about your finances. Don't ask me about mine. So I'm definitely gonna tell about stuff that I get paid.
Anybody else's money, man.
Yeah.
Yep, I don't discuss anybody else's money. I never do that. I had a few guys out on the roof that used to do that sometimes, because I had a couple guys that we would give different amounts. And, I had to pull them to the side and say, yo, don't do that, man. Don't do that. I say, because what you're doing is putting the extra money you making in jeopardy, because if it boils down to it, we'll drop everybody down to the same amount. We're not going to bring everybody up to what you're getting. So you'll end up getting less money right along with everybody else. If you're getting more money, be happy you're getting more money and keep that shit to yourself.
Yep. And if you get less too, a lot of times there's reasons why.
To the company than the other guy. It's about value sometimes, man. And if your value is worth more to a company than somebody else's, they're going to be a little bit more appreciative. They're going to, offer you extra perks here and there. You know what I mean? Because they want you to stick around.
Like I'll give you an example about how it goes with getting paid and everything. Like a truck driver driving a garbage truck is going to make way more than the person riding shotgun who's got to get out and dump the garbage cans in the back of the truck. And you're going to make a lot more being that CDL truck driver than you are being the dude riding shotgun or riding on the back of the truck, flipping garbage cans in there. Hell, I used to do it. Man, that job sucks.
Yeah, the funny part is the dude that's on the back of the truck pulling the dumpsters and shit, he's going to feel like he's supposed to make more because he's doing all the work.
Yeah, I know, and he's working harder too. I used to work on the back of a garbage truck, man. I know what it's like flipping that stuff, man. So, and the job sucks, man. especially, man, I used to ride, we had an old school garbage truck that had like, I guess the motor in the middle of the cab. And so when I would get, a lot of times I would rather ride on the back of the truck because it was so hot in the cab of the truck, man. That I guess the motor, it had like a big hump in the middle, man. And it was hot as hell. You couldn't even really put your hand on there without it getting hot and burning a little bit. But the cab was so hot. Oh, geez. I think it was McDuffie Sanitation I used to work for at Alabama. I worked for it in the summer when I was, in middle school. And so, man, I did a lot of work that I shouldn't have done because of age limit wise. But, I remember in my neighborhood, we was, driving around in the neighborhood. I was on the back of the truck and my buddies from school seen me. And so they started following behind me on their bicycles, man, sitting there making fun of me. I'm like, well, I'm getting paid. Y'all ain't, so.
Yeah, man. I've done a lot of jobs that most people probably wouldn't have done, but me, I was all about my bank. I was all about that bag, man. I felt like if the money was worth what they had me doing, I was with it. I didn't care what nobody said.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I've done all kinds of stuff, man.
But I am from that time, though, when you could still walk around collecting aluminum cans and all other kind of little stuff. And, you know, back then, man, you could sell shit everywhere. Everything had a value to it back then, man.
Yep. We used to have a little can crusher back in like a little shed. It was a mountain on the wall. You'd stick it in there and you'd yank down on it and it'd crush the cans. Yeah,
we had to crush our own cans. That was the funnest part, stomping on them.
Yeah. Well, this one was just a little bitty lever. It was just a little metal thing with a little thing you yank down on. And it was just a little device. And you put the can in there, and it was, and you just yank down on it. Which is thinking about it weird because, man, I don't know how effective it actually was because, man, it would break. You yank on it too many times, the handle that you would hold on to, the little part would come off. So, yeah, just stepping on it was still the most effective. I guess it'd wear out your knees, though. I'm trying to think. Man,
yeah, but it
was long since I smashed the can. Yeah. Have big old bags in the backyard.
Yeah, man, that was some of the best times of my childhood, bro. Going out looking for cans and shit. Cause we'd end up with 3, 4, maybe 5 big ass trash bags of cans, man, hauling them up to the little recycle place.
Yeah, you know,
get that little bit of money. But
you know what's funny?
That little bit of money was a lot. You could buy a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you could go to the convenience store, man. Stuff was nickels and dimes. Man, bruh.
You remember the penny candy?
Yep. Man, are we that old, dude? Jeez.
Yeah, we're that old, man. Ain't no penny candy no more. I don't even think they got penny candy machines anymore.
Man, dude. Jeez. Getting old, man.
Yeah,
well, hell, we already are old.
All the little, like, gumdrop machines and stuff, I think they're all 50 cents and up now.
Yeah. Man, what I used to love to do as a kid, well, we only got to really do it once because we got a hell of a butt whooping for it. After big rain, our yard would sit there and have water puddles in it. And me and my brother went out there and we were like so long, we just took and slid in it. Like we'd run and just slide through the water puddle. Man, we dirtied up our clothes so bad. My dad got home. We got a butt whooping from hell from it. But it was so fun. Like that was one of the, was it worth the butt whooping? I believe it was. Oh man. I told my daughter about the story and she's like, ooh, I want to do that. And I'm like, well, don't tell your mama I told you about that. Go find some clothes that your mama won't mind you getting dirty. Which is weird now, too, though, because back then, if we dirtied up clothes, we'd get in trouble. But now they do fun runs and stuff to where basically you get clothes just to dirty up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm going to have to go ahead and hop off, man. I'm down to like 30%, and I don't have my charger with me. So I'm gonna have to call my
45 minutes,
session for the day. Huh?
I said 30%. You still got like 45 minutes, man.
Oh no! If I was still at the house, then I would just stay on. But I'm actually almost uptown. I was gonna catch the bus and go over to the smoke shop.
Well, we got a pretty
Yes, sir.
pretty good length episode. We got like 2.5 hours, so it'd be nice.
Yeah.
I was letting you guys go back and forth. I'm just sitting over here for a minute.
Yeah, I was just about to ask Box if you were still on. I said, damn, I ain't heard Chris in a minute.
Yeah, he got disconnected.
With the hub, so no, because since it's a conference call, I think if the call dropped to mine, I think we would have all dropped, you know. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy doing this, guys. You know, if you guys are up for it next week, we can hop on again.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah,
yes,
man,
sir.
and
I enjoy it.
I think I wanted, as you know, I had told you about it the other day, man. I wanted to go ahead and start my video podcast for mine. I was gonna do it this weekend, but then I was so tired from helping my mom and stuff move that I didn't get to plan out anything. So I'm gonna try to do it next weekend.
Yep. I told Cora about it, and she's like, "Ooh, can I be on it?"
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, Cora can definitely be on it. We can promote her upcoming album.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. She killed that song, and I think she did a great job. She directed the music video, so all the things on the music video, and she was like, "Hey, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this." I'm like, "Hey, this is your music video. I'm just recording."
Yep. So,
hey, send it to Chris, man. I meant to send it to him so he could check it out, and I forgot.
All right.
But yeah, why don't you guys, for our listeners or whatever, why don't you guys tell them where they can find you? Like if you guys got like music out there, any podcasts or whatever, or any other, beats that you got published or whatever.
Well, for right now, you can only find me on the Blodgett Show. I do have my own podcast, but I have taken I think you call it a hiatus from it for a little minute,
Yep.
But it will be coming back. Until then, I will be right here on the Blodgett Show, appearing for real talk episodes and anything else that I might jump on. I'll be around.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I got a YouTube channel. I was doing some stuff there. I got Strick Ain't Done More, but basically, but I think it's Bach Gooey Music on YouTube. And my kid has, BAKGUIYMUSIC. And my daughter just released her first music video, and I guess it's her first single, is Chillin' with Cora. That is her YouTube channel, but the name and so that's on YouTube, and the music video is called I Belong, and it's by Cora Eve, and she did it for an art competition, and it's due on the 17th, so we had to get everything done, and so she got it recorded. We just got to get it mixed down. But, yeah, that's her first song. She's 9, and, yeah, I'll try to send you that link. I think we're friends on Facebook. I shared the link on my Facebook page, but I'll try to see if I can message it to you.
I got you. And for anybody listening, if there's any specific topics you want us to, either questions to answer or topics you want us to talk about, drop us an email, blodgettshowpodcast@gmail.com, and that way me, Rico, and Barry here can dive into it and see where the conversation takes us.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, well, until next time, fellas.
Yes, sir. So we'll catch you guys later.
Later.
Hey guys, welcome back. Well, I hope you enjoyed that Keeping It Real segment with me, Rico, and Barry, and we are going to try to keep it going. we are going to, I know the plan right now is to try to do that every week. So that way we can give you guys some good content, and, you know, on occasion, if I do have a random topic that I want to talk about with you, there may be a regular Real Talk Tuesday and a Keeping It Real segment, or maybe me, Rico, and Barry will, you know, go back and forth about whatever the topic is and stuff. But really appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in with us. Anybody who wants to see what kind of passive opportunities I'm a part of, please check the show notes, because I put them all over there. One's a passive Bitcoin miner, and there's a couple others I got a list as well. Could never go wrong with passive stuff, guys. Basically opportunities that you do not have to build a team, you do not have to actively promote it online. You can literally just set it up and let it run and let it grow, you know, compound and all that fun stuff. But I appreciate you, and stand by for the Raw Chat episode coming up next. Have a good one.